Justin for the Future here, and today we're going to take a look to Thorn. Now this will be a overview video, so not the deepest of deep dives. That video will follow. For now we will just go over some of the unique points of Thorn, do some sound demos, and if you want to really in depth, I'm going to have to ask you to stick around. That video will come in, I hope a week-ish. Because there's a lot of ground to cover with Thorn. So the song you heard in the intro is one of my tracks. It's also on YouTube and it is on SoundCloud. Soon to be on Spotify, I think. Might upload it there. And it's a track made with predominantly Thorn synthesizers. So I want to talk a little bit about the synthesizer and its features, because it's a little bit of a special beast and it has a special little place in my heart because it's different in a good way. So what is Thorn? It's a free oscillator harmonic synthesizer. And you might look at this and think, wait, position? Is this some sort of wavetable trickery? It isn't. It's actually a little bit different than a classic wavetable synthesizer. What Thorn uses are harmonic sequences. Now, to keep the length of this video somewhat reasonable, I will not go into full detail how this works, but essentially it gives you a bunch of frequency bins, harmonic bins, of which you can set the amplitude and the phase. And it's somewhat reminiscent of additive synthesis, so you might recognize the square with the uneven ones, the sine with the single harmonic, and you can add in extra harmonics. And you can change the phase of these harmonics, which will change your waveform. So it's not full on additive, it's sort of a in-betweener thing. You might see this in different waveform synthesizers as well. You basically can make a starting point and an end point. And Thorn will draw in the in-between shapes. And another little thing you can do is you can actually load in your own sounds. Now again, this is not like a wavetable, but it will import the spectral information, so the harmonic information of a sound, and create a table from that. So this is a linton. And unlike a wavetable, no matter how fast I spin the position, I will never get the linton sound out of it. You will just get some spectral information from whatever you feed into it back. And these oscillators do tend to have a very specific sound. Pretty glassy and modern is probably the best way to put it. Every oscillator comes with a sub-oscillator. In 3 flavors, and it comes with its own dedicated effect. So this is independent from the effect section. So that's pretty interesting. When you use FM, RM, and the other stuff, it will use the oscillator underneath to do the modulation. So in this case, we use this oscillator to FM. So that's pretty interesting functionality you can play around with. Every oscillator comes with, of course, tuning, unison as well. You can add unison voices for your unison soul sounds and stuff like that. And there is a spread, which adds stereo spread. Let's increase both. Nice and white. Yeah, free oscillators, covered that. You also get a harmonic filter. Now the harmonic filter will filter out harmonics. So this is not your classical filter, but in fact it treats things a little bit differently. It's a very cool extra sound shaping feature. Once again, quite a few presets here. I don't think you can save your own presets. That's a bit of a shame. And you can also dive into this and paint things here. If that's your jam, you can go absolutely wild and customize whatever you want. Next to it, we get filters. We get two filters, filter 1, filter 2. You can go through one or both, whatever you want. Key tracking on the filters, that's pretty cool if you're going to use the acid noises with the resonance high. So it's very cool. We also get filter drive. If you want to drive a filter, that's a possibility. Filter limiter. You have some modulators here, which are drag and drops. That's pretty neat. You can just pop them on and they will stick. And in the mod matrix, you can mess around with the depth. So very nice mod matrix, very easy to use. 2 envelopes and a amp envelope, which can also be used as a modulation source. So that's pretty neat. You get 2 LFOs, speed, shape, phase. All your basic shapes are here. And you can change the phase, make it poly or monophonic. Have it fade in, which is especially useful if you're going to mess around with LFOs as kind of a vibrato effect. And you get 2 MSECs as well for curves and steps with smoothing, gate and shuffle. Bunch of presets here as well. So that's a lot of toys to play around with, a lot of modulation opportunities. So one of the coolest features about DS4 is probably the glitch sequencer, which can add a whole lot of interesting stuff to your sounds. So I have here this little bass sound, is one of the presets, bass chrome. It's very nice and punchy. Let's throw an Arpeggiator on. Pretty cool. And now we will turn on the glitch sequencer and just check out how much difference this little thing makes. Completely transforms the sequence, which is a really cool concept. And you can move things along as well. So if you want to mess around with the sequence, you can just So that makes a huge difference to the sound of your sequences. And I think this is really one of the main selling points of Thorn. It's very, very unique feature. Often you need external effects to get these kind of glitchiness in your synthesizer and in your arpeggios. And it's really effortless with DS4. Not a lot of power in this little thing. So what it does basically is you can set a amount of note repeats. Actually, let me see if I can quickly default this. There we go. Let's make it one step. All right. You have a low pass filter. High pass. Bit crusher. Under the bit crusher is a sample rate reducer. Extra nasty if you add the bit crusher to it. And under that is the gate. You have up to 16 steps, but you can also make it shorter or longer if you want to. Let's do 8 steps. You can set the speed here. This speed can be different than your Arpeggiator if that's what you want. So that's pretty interesting. And from there on out, it's really, if you want to do it good, just randomize. Draw in some different shapes and let's see what happens. Then there's a bunch of presets here as well. And this is a very, very unique thing that's really specific to DS Thorn, which I think is a huge selling point. It's very easy to create interesting sequences, especially once you start to mess around with the Arpeggiator as well. So let's do something with the Arpeggiator. Let's see what this does. All right. So that's the glitch sequencer and the Arpeggiator. Next to that you get a ton of effects: distortion, lo-fi, chorus, phaser, flanger, delay, reverb, equalizer and compressor. Every individual effect has quite a few parameters, as you can see, from the distortion, get tube modes, hyperbolic clipping modes, lo-fi, kind of a bit crusher thing, chorus, pretty box standard chorus, but that's fine. Phaser with some extra controls, and your delay as well has a bunch of extra controls, so that's pretty awesome. Reverb with plate and space mode, and a basic equalizer. So that's a lot of tools, but I think the main driving force of Thorn is really the glitch sequencer combined with the Arpeggiator. That's very unique. Very cool effects. Now, one thing you might notice straight out of the box is that there's a whole lot of EDM based presets in this synthesizer. Now, this isn't strictly an EDM synthesizer. You can adopt it to many genres because you have quite a big tool set of things you can work with. But Thorn does have a pretty specific sound, which I don't know, I would call it bright. And not bright as in very detailed, but it's kind of like a glassy, bright sound. So it is pretty distinct, and it's a sound you either like or dislike. That's really up to you, of course, but that's something worth mentioning. So I would definitely recommend picking up a trial from the Plugin Alliance website before going out and buying this synthesizer. I will leave some audio examples. I've already sprinkled a few in. I will leave a few at the end so you can hear a bit of what it sounds like. Hopefully that will help you determine whether or not this is the synthesizer you want to have next. But it's a very unique and very interesting thing. I make it a small preset pack for Thorn. It's not very big, but a few extra patches you can check out to see if it gives you some inspiration on how to use the synthesizer. As said, there will be another video where we go a bit deeper into all the technicalities and features of this thing. For now, I will leave you with some sound demos to give you a little bit of a feeling of what this synth does. And I hope to see you in the next video. If there are any questions, leave them down below. And if you like this video, please leave a like. It helps with the algorithm and stuff. And that's it for now. See ya.